Alright, driving here in the old 09 F-150. Got the U-Haul hooked up there. We are headed to Cambridge, which is about 35 minutes now. I've been on the road for like 10. And gonna be buying a new car, hopefully. So, it's another flip car, but I'd really like to mess around with it for a little bit, make a few videos with it. It's very, very rare. I've never seen another one for sale in my area. Meaning like within like a couple hours of me, at least since I've been flipping cars for like a year. A lot of people who follow this channel love Grand Prix, but a lot of you guys won't know what this is. I forgot the year already, but it's a Grand Prix GTX. So it is a GTP that was built from the factory with SLP performance. Street Legal Performance is, I'm pretty sure, what it stands for. But SLP and Pontiac made the GTX. It was a very limited car. It's black, you know, the paint's faded. I love a place like that with all those trucks and stuff to mess with, all that land. Okay, but the paint's faded, it's ugly, the rockers are sagging bad. But I'm gonna drill the rockers back up with just, you know, some really long probably screws or something. I do it on every Grand Prix I get. If there's rockers sagging, I just drill them back up, and it always makes them look good again, at least from the outside. But he said, you know, it's got rust around the wheel wells, it's got rust where they're in the rockers. He said the strut towers are pretty clean though, they're not rusted. Under the hood, you know, he sent me a picture. It looks like it's a legit GTX. It's got the hood with the ram air hood on it. He said he had sold the GTX wheels, so it's got regular GTP wheels on it, which kind of sucks, but it doesn't have the GTX key fob, it doesn't have the floor mats. He said all that got lost. It was his neighbor's car for 18 years. So, I mean, it's been sitting for, he said, I think 3 years. One of the front right brake line rusted out, he said, so he pinched it off. He's been driving it like that. He just pinched it off so the fluid wasn't flowing out, he said. So he's been driving it like that, but he said it's a little sketchy. He has a new brake line in the trunk for me to put on, so that's good. I don't have to buy the part, just put it on. He said the only real issue is the brake line and then the rust, but he said there's no rust. The frame's clean, there's no holes in it, and the strut towers are clean. So I mean, if that's true, and you can tell under the ram air intake too, it's kind of cool. From the snorkel hood that goes into the intake, it's pretty cool. So I believe the GTX has 260 horsepower, give or take a couple, but it's right at that. The regular GTP has 240. Wow, look at all those pumpkins. But yeah, so we're gonna go pick this up, hopefully. He said it runs great. He said it's fast, it's fun, just needs the brake line and some love. Like it's got the sweet GTX ram air hood, like I said. It's all faded though, and it sucks that no one took care of it. But that's where I come in. I'm paying $500 for the car. We already negotiated the price over messaging. He sent me pictures of everything, and he wanted $800. I said I'll do $400. We met at $500. It's a clean title, GTX. So let's go check it out. Just leaving. That's his GTP. It's a little bit better shape than the GTX. He said the GTX is a little better underneath, but he's like, if you want to buy the red one, let me know. So I'm probably gonna message him when I get home, like, hey, how much for the red one? But we got the GTX loaded. You can see the snorkels in the hood. It's old, man. It's got rust everywhere underneath it. But it's a car that I really wanted, you know what I mean? It's $500. Then the trailer was $55, and the gas cost me about probably $15 in gas. Round trip is 45 minutes away from my house. So he's a really cool dude. We took on a test drive. The thing hauls, dude. It's pretty quick. It's pretty quick for an old barn car. There it goes. See the red GTP. I really want the red, man. I wish this GTX was red, but it's black, and the paint's actually not terrible. Besides the hood and the front fenders, they're faded. But just gonna get home now. It's really cold out. We want to test drive, look through everything. The suspension seems okay. It's not terrible. I pushed on, you know, above each shock. It didn't bounce. It is pretty rusty underneath, I'm not even gonna lie, but the parts that really matter are fine. The rockers are absolutely shot, man. They are so bad. So I think I'm gonna end up ordering new rockers for this car, and new rockers, whole new suspension rebuild. It runs and drives good. We took on a test drive minus the pinched brake line, but it's pinched off right at the top of this the brake master cylinder, so you can literally, he's got the whole line in the back seat of it too, brand new. So you got the whole line from there, no flaring needed, really, nothing like that. But the thing's gonna need some love, but I've really wanted a project car, and what better to do it than a GTX? And it's got a freshly rebuilt transmission with paperwork. It's got a clean title. The biggest reason it was so cheap, besides the rust, is the brake line, and then I guess the title's still coming in the mail. His wife, it's in her name. They have a copy and the receipt and everything from the DMV of the transfer, proving they got the registration when they transfer it into their name. So just waiting on it in the mail. I don't really care. He said it should be here in a couple weeks. I got his, all his info. I know where he lives. Super cool dude. He likes these cars. I like this car. It's got like 200. He said this one's got about 270 horse. You can tell it's got a smaller pulley on it. He said it's got a tune with that. The previous owner was his neighbor. They bought it brand new. They had owned it for over 18 years, so they bought it brand new, which is pretty cool. I think it's a 2002 or 2000, no, it's a 2000. So they've owned it certified pre-owned, I think. I don't know. He said they owned it from like a year or two after it came out. And they did. They took care of it for a while, and then eventually they just let it go. It was an older couple, so that kind of sucks, but I'm going to focus on driving here, get her home, and I'll show you guys around the car. But I'm pretty excited. It's a black GTX that runs and drives. Pretty freaking rare. So it's got the SLP exhaust, the SLP ram air hood, ram air intake, SLP intake, whatever. So it's pretty cool. Sounds good. It's got a little bit of exhaust leak, a little bit of belt chirp, all the common issues, the steering column, the windows, all that good stuff. But it's only got 180,000 miles on it. Original motor, rebuilt trans, or built trans, I guess. It's got a shift kit and something else done, he said. I wasn't paying attention. All right, so just quick look. This is what she looks like. She's not pretty. Rockers are sagging. None of the windows work except for the front passengers. It's down because he had to get out. He didn't put it back up. But she's got rust. She's filthy. But the frame's solid, and that's all I really care about rust-wise, and the strut towers are pretty solid too. Actually, they're really solid for sitting in a bond. There's some rust on them for sure, but I mean, they're not about ready to pop through, especially if I reinforce them. So we're good. Gonna go get something to eat really quick, and I'm gonna order some black halo headlights for this thing, and it's gonna look really good. It's gonna look super good. Just driving here, and one thing I also want to add is he had the GTX badges and the wheels, which I really wanted, but he didn't want to get rid of them. He said he was keeping them. I don't know why. I think he was gonna turn his red one maybe into a GTX. I don't know. I didn't really ask, but I offered him $50 for the badges, just the 2-door badges that say GTX, and he didn't want to do it. He's like, I'm not selling them. And I'm like, what about the wheels? He's like, well, they're really pitted and stuff. And I looked at them, and yeah, they were really pitted and stuff, but I offered him $100 for the wheels. He said, no, I'm not getting rid of them anyways. But I'm not really a fan of the GTX wheels anyways. I'm going to go aftermarket, but it would have been really cool to have the badges. So if I can find badges, I'm definitely going to get them. I'm not just going to put GTP badges on it. I'm going to look for GTX badges, eBay, Marketplace, whatever. But at least I got a GTX, so pretty happy about that. All right, well, same video for you guys next morning for me. So this morning I came out here. I was going to take the wheel off, but we got a problem. She's got lock and lug nuts, and there's no lock in the car, glove box, armrest, center console, trunk, nothing. So I messaged him. I was like, hey, can I get that lock? Or if it's a universal one, which size is it? So I'm going to go get gas in this thing. Tires need air. And hopefully I make it to a gas station. It's that out of gas. So that's kind of gross. So I am going to end up having to reattach that, but it's good for now. I mean, but the back is so dirty. It's not terrible, but there's definitely rust. it's just sad to see that someone took this bad of care of a GTX, even nonetheless a car in general. You got to take care of them. So for me, for the rockers, I was doing some research, and I think I'm gonna have new rockers welded in. I really like the car. It's probably gonna be like $400 or $500 to get both of them welded in if I let them buy the part, is what I've been quoted. But I'm gonna buy the rockers. There's a couple people around me, a couple places here in town that are selling brand new rocker panels for this, both sides, outer rocker panels, and I'll have them do inner, but the quote was for both. So I'm gonna go buy those. It's like $60 for the pair, and then have a shop weld them on, and then re-put the side skirts on. It'll look good again. No more rusty rockers. Today I'm going to buy a Gen 5 Eaton M90 blower. It's a super steel. I have to buy it. I don't quite have all the components yet to swap it, but I have to buy it so we can replace this. I believe this is the L67. I don't know. I don't know exactly, but got the little ram box there. Someone just honked as they went by. What the heck, man? I don't know, but yeah, it's in need of some desperate love. It's got like these fade streaks, but it's a GTX nonetheless, and at least get the rockers done so I can at least not worry about that. So I'm gonna go wash it really quick. I somewhat zip tied. I didn't zip tie. I screwed these in the best I could, but they're still pretty loose in the middle because there's literally nowhere for them to attach to at all. Like it's, yeah. So I can have that rusty area cut out, and I can have brand new metal welded in rockers. I was doing some research, and I've seen people get it done on a lot worse in their garage welding. I don't have a welder, but so I've seen people get a lot worse rockers, which is hard to believe because these are pretty bad. You know, and all this stuff, I'll take care of myself. Not hard, but I don't do welding. So, yeah, they're basically gone. So I can have new metal welded in, and then new rockers welded on that metal. I'm not opposed to doing that. So, tires are fairly good. They look like they have good tread. They look to be in good shape. So let's go put air in them. Hopefully it holds. Aftermarket wheels will be coming, so this is going to be a nice project car for the channel. I don't really think I'm going to get rid of it, at least not yet. So the first thing I want to do is get the brake line in. We have the part right here. I started to bend it already to form it because it needs to go from this guy, the old line right here. He pinched it off so it wasn't leaking, so I have to unscrew that, take that out, and it goes right down in, right there through the firewall. This is my guess. That's what he said. I've never done a brake line. I think it actually might just drop right down there and go right under. I don't know. But, you know, attached to the caliper. And then I got to bleed out the inner bleeder and then the outer bleeder. And hopefully have some brakes back. So that's the plan. I'm going to do only spark plugs, wires. I'm going to do ZZP wire, 10 millimeter wires, plugs, probably just NGK Platinum plugs. That's what I always do. The strut towers, though, are clean. I have not checked the rear strut towers from the inside yet. I mean, for the price, I didn't really care. I was thinking I could part it out more than that, but let's check. I'm actually really nervous with the rocker rust on this car. I'm actually pretty freaking nervous. And this one is even more loose. This one, there's absolutely nowhere to do it. Actually, so they're gonna have to weld new metal up into here, but hey, body shops can do it. As long as the frame's good, you can build off of that, and the frame on this car is solid still. But all of this is just, I want these rockers actually hung up to look good, so I might actually take the plastic side skirts off, cut all the rust out, take the old rockers off, whatever, cut them out, and then just like rhino line it for now so it's at least black and not rusty and preventing rust, and call it good just until I get, you know, that done, because that's not my first priority. That's just appearance. Well, I mean, the rust kind of really sucks in the doors, but you know what I mean. This screwdriver is holding this window from going down. This door hits right down here just a smidge when you open it, so I need to grind down a little bit there. That's the only door that hits. So yeah, you can see in here the rust is very, very bad. But again, the car was $485 is what we ended up agreeing on. I just say $500, but A GTX for that price. Oh, and he didn't want to get rid of the GTX floor mats. I don't know why he didn't want to get rid of any of the good stuff. I really wanted all that. So there's a local dude. Oh, that didn't even pop. There's a local dude who has GTX badges for sale for $200. They're brand new. That's why I wanted to get those from him. But he wanted them. Oh, shit, I think the battery's dead. Yep, we have a dead battery. So I need to get the key out of the ignition and the battery is actually pretty good, he said, but I think I left a dome light on or something when I was in there, so that's unfortunate, but I'll catch up with you guys in a minute. We are going to get this thing out of here, drive it down the street to the car wash as it is, and wash it, get a first wash, and then go from there. All right, well, she's on the charger. She's reading 0. I don't know if it's connecting. We have a problem. The coolant hose, I had this on that maroon one too, the same problem. I had to refeed it a longer one around here behind the battery to the coolant from the expansion tank. Well, you guys aren't gonna be able to really tell, I don't think, but if you pull this, you can't see down there. This thing is cut. It's rubbed through from, because it was rubbing on the belt. When I went down here, it was sitting like that up against the belt, which is stupid. So I'm gonna have to get a new hose and run that around there. As long as the radiator's full, it's fine for now, but that's something I need to do really soon. Oh yeah, she's moving. She's climbing. When it gets to over 5, I'm gonna try and start it, and then it can charge itself up. The alternator is like brand new. He said he just put it on this past summer. The wiring in it looks pretty new, so it may need a starter or just a weak battery. I don't know, but there's a lot of stuff I plan to do to this thing. It's cool. It's a GTX. So, and I did look up the VIN, and it doesn't say the trim level. At least I don't think. At least where I looked it up. But gotta vacuum all this out of here. Paint both the fenders, the hood. Oh, the other paint on the car, though, it's scratched up, you know, but it's not terrible. Same thing with the screwdriver in this window. But you guys are saying, oh, what a piece of shit. Don't want to swear on here and get demonetized. But I like cars like this. It's what I like. Look at all the people who collect old cars that are all just completely rusted out everywhere, you know. The floorboards on this are solid, you know, there's no rust. It's not that rusty once you're up under there. It's just the rockers on each side are just completely rusted. And sure, there's spots in the suspension that are really pretty rusty and stuff, but it's not like as bad as you think. So I need this to charge. Oh, she's charging quick. I have it on 10 amp. This is a 10 and 2 amp charger. I have it on 10, so let's see if this trunk will pop. Oh yeah, she pops. She popped for sure. What was I doing back here again? Oh my God. All right, something that says GTX. Oh, SLP. Oh, that's awesome. All right, that makes me feel really good. Cause I was a little weary thinking it wasn't a GTX. Oh, it does have a brand new spare. What was I going in the trunk for? Oh yeah. This ain't too good. I don't really want to get a new trunk because this is a GTX trunk, but I always can definitely just get a whole new trunk. So the spots on this that are rusted are fixable. All right, that makes me feel really good. It says that's actually got that sticker there. GTX installed tire information. So the GTX does come with bigger tires, but this one has standard Grand Prix GTP or GT tires on it. But yeah, you can see in the wheel wells it's got rust, but like it's not the end of the world. Like up the strut tower, you can see the rust up there starting, but it's just surface rust. Oh, that's what I want to check. So, all right, cross your fingers, guys. Otherwise, I'll have to get new metal welded up. Oh yes, dude, they're clean. Look how clean that is. Oh yeah, okay. Rockers are a lot easier to do than strut towers. So, oh yeah, we're good. A little bit of JB weld, it looks like right there. On like maybe a little rusty hole, but we're pretty freaking good. this is all like grime and dirt, surface rust, but like there's a little bit peeling up right there. But yeah, that's like a surface layer, so that's pretty freaking good. They're not gone. So yeah, it's all just surface, so we're good. All right, the other side's super clean, so I'm really excited. It is a GTX, which is, I know they could have put a GTX trunk, but why? It looks the same. So yeah, and it's definitely original. So, oh, last night, I forgot to tell you guys, I ordered halo headlights. Not smoked out, but I ordered black housing halo headlights. So they're not like super blacked out, but they're not chrome. You know, they're just a nice black housing. So, and then I'm looking for taillights, for Spider LED taillights, because these ones are just shot. This thing's gonna make a whole transformation over the winter. It'll be ready for summer to kill some Mustangs and whatnot. It's already pretty quick. When I unloaded it from the trailer, took it down the street, the thing pulls. Like from a dig, this thing is quick. So let's see if it's what she's at. She's just under 10, well, like 7. But let's see if that's enough to give her a crank. See if she wants to fire. I'm so excited to get those new headlights in. They're super nice. They're halos. They're not Spider, but they do have they have like 4.5 out of 5-star reviews on their website. So, and I know people are gonna be like, why would you put all this money into this car? I love this car. I've always wanted a GTX. Like, and they're fairly cheap to modify. Not, well, just to restore. Like, once the rockers are restored, I'm not going to worry about a thing on this car. I'm just going to have fun with it. I'm going to undercoat it. I'm going to have fun with it. Get some fuel pressure built up. I hear the fuel pump turning on and turning off, so that's good. Ah, she needs to charge some more. All right, perfect. So if you guys are wondering, if you have that issue with you go to turn it and you try to take out your column, doesn't let you take the key out. Well, if you push right under this guy, there's a little button right here. See that little button? Push it and you can take the key out. So that's a cheap fix for temporary. I was too impatient. Unfortunately, I ripped this off, broke it. So that sucks. I need to be patient, but honestly, if I'm just going to deal with that, I might as well have that off anyways. All the sharp pieces are gone. This side's still good. All right, that's my own little modification, guys. So let her charge up a little bit more and then fire her up. Oh, yep, she's charging. She's trying. All right, so that's easy to get out. Okay, that's actually pretty quick. Once you hit that button a few times, you know exactly where it's at. So here's my key fob. Does not say GTX. Apparently there was an option from the factory where this could say GTX on it. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, this is gonna be a car. I don't think I'm gonna get rid of it, guys. Especially once I do the rockers and get all new metal welded in. You know, they'll have to knock all whatever's rusted out down here, weld it all the way in, right up to it. New rockers, and then put the side skirts are in great condition, so don't need to buy new ones. If I had a welder, I'd do it myself, but any welding, I'll just bring it to a local welding shop or auto body place. There's one actually right down the street. Might stop by there and see what it would cost. I mean, a lot of them it's probably gonna be upwards of $1,000, but if you're gonna keep the car for a while, it's totally worth it. You know, to have new rockers, have it not sag. I'm really excited. I'm gonna keep this spoiler, but not on the car. I'll keep it, but I'm working on getting a 40th anniversary spoiler, like the Daytona style. And yeah, so let her charge up. I just need to start it and go wash it, bring it back, and then we have to drive down to Big Lake, me and my girlfriend and the baby, to get that supercharger and a couple other things for her. So move this guy out of the way so I don't hit it. Gotta move the truck. And yeah, I'll catch up with you guys when we get to the car wash. I'm really excited to get going on this car, honestly. All right, so I got it started. All that coolant on the ground is my fault. There was just a little spill. I actually added coolant to it because it was low and I spilled a bunch down through there, so it kind of dripped out. But it's running. Seems to run decent. I mean, you can't ask much for a $485 car. So we're gonna hop in it. I did put some white lights in it last night. It's hard to tell, they're so fogged up. So I'm gonna try and buff those out today, because once my halos come, I'm gonna go ahead and sell those. And I'm gonna go ahead and touch up, clean up under here. It needs a lot. So, but it's not perfect, but look at this hood. Gotta fix that too. But I need to go clean it so I can start with paint on the fenders and hood and front bumper. And yeah, those rockers are just ugly. Honestly, I should just rip them off, but I don't know. So let's go give her a I forgot it's low on fuel. Let me grab the fuel thing. And it smells like a farm inside there. Oh my god, it's terrible. Hey, it's gonna be a good transformation though, right? And I'm gonna do it all on the channel. So there's a little gas in this actually. I'm gonna put some in it and I'll catch you guys there, because it sounds like it's gonna die soon. I mean, it is out of gas. I hope the gas gauge even works. All right, so I put some gas in. The wipers, I have to have them on low because they do that thing where it's common on these where if you turn them off, they stop like right there. So I'm gonna have to deal with that. Windows are all fogging up because it's hot in here, so I'm gonna kind of crack that. Really surprised that the heads-up display works, but I'm gonna give you just a little acceleration here, like probably 70% throttle. Oh well, yeah, it's got like a issue. So yeah, that also has to be. It usually accelerates really good. I'm gonna have to figure out what that is. It's probably the same reason why it idles a little rough, but that's one of the issues I knew about. It's really fast, but not when it does that, obviously. Oh. There's my house. Can't slow down in time. Go around the block. I honestly don't know why it stutters like that. My guess is catalytic converters, or O2 sensors, or O2 sensors, mass airflow sensor. Those are the things I'll start with. But the car's a project car, and you know, it's gonna be fun because when it's not stuttering like that, it runs really good. It still runs good. It just. Actually, I'm gonna honestly start with spark plugs, but first wash is done. It cleaned up a lot. It's got an exhaust leak. It's got a bunch of issues I gotta work out, but so it makes it a project, right? All right, it's a little bit later. She's back in the garage now, just base cleaned up, not really kind of detailing much. I cleaned up right here, the fender. Just have mask off. I have to mask off the bumper more still. I got the windshield covered with that thing. I don't really care if I get any overspray. This little dent kind of sucks. I didn't really see that, but I don't care if I get any overspray on the hood, because I'm gonna be sanding the hood, fixing this like chip, and then painting the hood. And I gotta do all the same for this side because this fender is the same. But the other paint's fine, as you can see. The rear end's fine. The only paint fade, the sunroof's not even faded. He said the front end a long time ago had like a, what do you say, a bunch of like scratches and stuff, and he got it repainted with a Mako paint job, which he said was a no-go. This is what happened, so. The front bumper's got like clear coat peeling and stuff, which I'm going to sand down. I'm not going to do that yet. I'm just going to focus on that fender and see how that turns out, because I'm doing it with a rattle can. Because, I mean, anything's got to be better than that, right? So I'm going to go ahead and sand down right here, the transition where it's all peeled, and get to work. Got the headlight taped off. I got to still mask right here a little bit. But I do have the halos. They should be here in like 2 days. The halo headlights will look really good, because these headlights are trash. I'm going to use the bulbs out of these, though. The wheels, I'm going to be painting like I think I'm going to be doing the wheels in a matte black. So I think that would look really good. We'll see. We'll do matte black first maybe, and then gloss if it doesn't look good. But I have everything staying warm right here in front of the heater. It's actually doing a good job. So I got filler primer, because I will be priming that first before I paint. This one's almost gone, but I have self-etching primer too. We're going to start with here, see how that fender turns out, and then if it turns out, you know, half decent, we'll go ahead and do the rest. The hood, I'm not doing the hood with rattle can. I'm going to do the hood with actual paint, like automotive paint. This is for more like painting like wheels and stuff like that, what I use it for, but it should work for the fender to be all right. But the hood, yeah, I'm gonna do the hood, actually do it right, and eventually maybe do the fenders right. But I mean, if this turns out all right, who cares? But yeah, the hood's too nice to not do good, and eventually I'll do the fenders too. But for now, to get rid of this ugly look, I'm going to do just black. So I should right now do a little bit of Bondo and fill that, but I'm not gonna, because I'm being lazy. So yeah, it's actually, I didn't even realize the windows are tinted on this thing too. Not much. It looks like legal 55%, but they're definitely tinted a little bit, so that's cool. All right, just wanted to get a little clip for you guys, just show you that this thing can move out. It's running really good now. It hasn't done that hesitation in a while, but here's just a little pull. And that's not full throttle. The thing's pretty quick for a $500 car, I gotta say. The low oil level is wrong. I just changed the oil. I put like 5.6 or 5.7 quarts. And the low coolant also is, that's tripping, because the overflow tank has no coolant in it because of the hoses. The hose rubbed off because of the pulley. But the radiator's full, so yeah. And the engine light is the exhaust leak. It's right at the cat, so that's stupid. But yeah, the thing is running really good, and the ABS is, well, the brakes are absolutely terrible, because I have 3 brakes, but only one in the front. So I only drove it to Walmart quick just to see how it would run right now. It's running great here. That's like 65% throttle, maybe 70. It's definitely not foot stabbed to the ground. I'm stabbing it at about 70% throttle. I don't want to do anything until I do spark plugs, wires, and get the exhaust leak fixed and the brake line. So that's all getting fixed here the next couple days. But I mean, I'm really liking this car, guys. It definitely is faster than any GTP I've ever had, and it's stock. Minus, you know, the GTX upgrade from the factory. But that doesn't, I mean, it's just, the thing just, it moves. It's quick and it drives straight. And if it had brakes, it'd be an awesome car already. It does have brakes, but I don't like to hit them. I'm actually driving in manual mode because I like to downshift, and that saves the having to use the brakes. And as you can see, it's downshifting by itself. If I have it in one, it downshifts by itself and upshifts by itself. So that's pretty freaking awesome too. The trans has a fresh rebuild on it too. Now, why would you get in the left lane and back in the right lane? That doesn't make sense. And it sounds awesome, like under the hood. The exhaust leak doesn't sound good, but under the hood sounds awesome. So this thing's gonna be an awesome car here pretty soon. It's just so fun. And then you hear the supercharger whine. I cannot wait to get the brakes sorted out and get this thing running 100%. It's gonna be a fun little daily driver.